Hello guys, once again welcome back to the channel Rahul Automation Studio. So guys, in my last videos I have shown you about how to install and configure TestNG in your Eclipse and how you can add TestNG in your project. And also after that I have explained you about the different annotations that are present in the TestNG and that you can use to organize your code and to make a proper testing framework, right? So today in this video, I'm going to explain you how you can create a test case without main method in the test engine. So basically, how can you start writing your test cases in the test engine? So for that, first of all, we will create a one Java class. So guys, this is a Maven project. If you will see the Maven project structure, that it will show you. First folder is our src main Java folder, second is src test Java folder, and rest of the folders are basically the dependencies that are required. That these are basically the jar files that are required for our Selenium Maven project. So Maven dependencies are there, test change dependencies are there, and this src folder is basically will contain your files after compilation, right? And this is your pom.xml file which is containing your dependencies, right? Like Selenium dependencies and TestNG dependency. So like that you can add more kind of dependency also, like for your, if you want to read the test data from Excel, so in that case you can add Apache POI dependency. If you want to work with extent report, so in that case you can add the extent report, and whatever dependency you want to add you can include in pom.xml file, and automatically it will download the jar for you and will add in your project. So this is the Maven folder structure. So in companies and in the project, if you will see, so the practice to be follow to add the test case is in your test folder, guys. Why? Because test folder will explain you that this folder is containing all the test cases for your project, right? And this main folder basically contains your capabilities class, or some common methods class, some common Selenium methods, or like some common logic which is required, or maybe it will contain your POM pages, like page objects which you are going to place in a POM file. That kind of classes it will contain, right? Some utility classes if you have created, that will also be, I mean, all the Java code or logic that will be the part of your test cases will be containing in our main folder, and the main test case will be go in your test folder. So under this I have made one package, that is selenium underscore practice. So also guys, once before start writing your test case, I will recommend you must always create a package. Why you should create a package? Because package is a container for your all the classes and interface. So definitely we are not going to create interface as we are going to write our test cases. So we are going to write down the classes, but to you know combine and bundle all your classes, right? So for that purpose you should write down the uh, package. First of all you should create a package. So if you are having a package, right, so you can directly run all the test cases inside the package with the name of the package itself. You don't have to write down individual test case or individual class to write down or to execute your test case. Simply you can specify the package also, and if you want to ignore the test cases at the package level, that also that you can do, just defining at the rate ignore at the package level. So there are many advantages to organize your test cases also in different module under the package. So that is also very useful. So always create a package, and after that you can start writing, creating different folders inside it, and modular wise, like if you're having login test cases under this, you can create a, like you can create a one source, one folder that with the name of like home. So something, this is the module that it will contain, right? Underscore home. Once you have created this home, after that you can start creating the test cases. So test cases we will be writing in the class. So you can create like home test. So always guys, once you are writing the class name for your test cases, so you should be writing like in the end like a test. So it will specify that yes, this class is basically a test class, right? And in this guys, you don't have to include the main method. So as you are working with TestNG, so TestNG will automatically invoke the main method for you. You don't have to write separate main method for the TestNG. So this is also an interview questions that how you can trigger your test case without the main method. So that we can achieve with the help of a TestNG, and TestNG will take care of it to trigger or to invoke your test cases. So you don't have to include the main method for it. Just click on finish. Once you will click, you can see the file has been added under this home folder. So home basically is like a module. So in the similar way, if you are having home, registration or login or some other modules, some address or something policies. So any folders, also any modules that you want to create. So it is basically for your hierarchy and for achieving the modularity and for proper management of your test cases. So that's why you should be creating like this only, right? So this is like done, and after that you can create the class. This is the home class that we have created, right? So in this, first of all, we will write down web driver. So driver definitely we need for us, and from where this web driver will come, it will come from the Selenium guys. So we will import this now. See, this is a simple Java class only, right, for your test cases. So how do you define that this particular method is going to be your test case? So to define any particular method inside a class, so TestNG provides you annotation for it, so that TestNG will read that particular method as a test case for you. So how you can do it? And we will also defining the and different annotations in the same file, and I will show you how you can manage your code. So public, let's write down the method that public void launch browser. So this is something, this is the method guys, so where we want to launch our browser, right? And we already have the code to launch the browser. So this is the code, right guys? This is the code to launch the browser, and it will open the URL also. So we can include both things in, or maybe we can give the method name as open URL. Okay, so it will be more clear, open URL. And WebDriver we have already initialized in the starting, so already defined basically, so that we can use. So this is the website guys that we are going to use for the our example for creating the test cases. And this is a good website. This is actually the real-time project. So if you will see, this is actually a real-time project. So I want to show you an example of the real websites, that how it looks like and how you can work. So definitely like this is the website we're working in the project in a company. So they will ask you the test cases for your login. They will ask you the test case for your forgot password. They will ask you the test case for the sign up now, right? So different test cases will be there, right? So similarly, you can write down your test case for under the home or maybe like a login. So once this is open, what you will do guys, so after that you have to enter the credentials in the website to launch or to go into the website. It is mandatory, right? So you have to enter the username and password, so that we have already defined, we already have done that. So this is the code to launch your browser and to log in into your application. So we will write down a different method for it. So suppose public void and login. So login can be basically our test case that we want to check the functionality that our login is working fine or not, right? Once you will be able to do the login, what you want to do? You want to close or quit the browser. So for that, you can write down that in a separate method, right? Like close browser. You can give the method name as close browser, and you have to write down the code for it. Driver dot. You can write down quit. So quit will close all the open browsers by your automation test cases, right? Now this is a complete code for your one test case. Suppose you want to write down one test case from launching the browser to the closing browser, right? And the test case is including the login for your account, right? So this is the complete code, but I have divided the code, complete code in different methods. So why I have divided this? So I will tell you now. So this is the code that you require for your every test case. Suppose tomorrow you are going to write down 3 or 4 different test cases for this page. You want to test the functionality or write, or you want to test the test case for login, forgot password, or sign up now, or maybe after login you want to go on another page and want to write down or execute the test case for that for another page after login. So one thing is common that you need to open the browser and to launch the browser, so that we require for each and every test case, right? So that kind of logic we have written in this method open URL. So it will launch the browser for you, it will open the website, and it will maximize your browser, right? So that we have done. And once our test case will be done, but we want to close or quit the browser also, so that it will not be open. So that also very common and for each and every test case, so that we have written in a separate method. And rest of the code, which is actually basically our test case, right? So that we have written in one different method. Now this method, we can define the annotation at the rate before method. Okay, like I have explained in my previous video also, that you can write down some kind of logic or code in at the rate before method, which you want to be execute each and every time with every test case. So this logic, opening the browser and opening a URL and maximizing the browser, we want to do with every test case, right? So for that, we can write down at the rate before method annotation on the method, and this is our test case. So in TestNG, if for any method that you want to define as a test case, you have to define the annotation at the rate test annotation for it. Okay, guys, you have to define, and after that you have to import this particular annotation also, like this. Once you will define at the rate test on your method, and you will import this particular test annotation in your file, so after that this method will become a test case for you. Okay, and you can see once you are writing at the rate test on the method, two things are coming for you on the method. One is run, one is debug. That if you want to run your test case, you just need to click on this run. Or maybe if you want to debug your test case, that it is not working fine and you want to check where exactly it is failing, so you can also do the debugging of your test case. You have to click on the debug, just put the uh, like debug point like this, and after that you can click on debug, so it will stop the execution at that breakpoint, and from there you can start debugging your test case. Right? So once you're writing at the rate test on the method, that method will become a test case for you guys in your TestNG. Okay. Now this is a simple Java method, right? So here we will be defining the annotation at the rate after method. Okay, and we will import this annotation from the TestNG. Now this is a complete test case with the complete hierarchy in this particular file. So this code we want to execute before the test case, right? So that's why we have written at the rate before method, and this is our exact test case. And after that we want to close the browser for every test case, so that we have defined in our at the rate after method. So at the rate before method and at the rate after method will execute each and every time with every test case, and other annotations which are before class, after class, before test, after test, before suite, after suite, those will run only once with all the test case. Like if there are 5 test case you are running, so those annotations will only run once, those will not run 5 times. But at the rate before method and at the rate after method will run 5 times for you if there are 5 test cases. If you have defined at the rate test at 5 different methods, so in that case it will run 5 times for you guys. Okay. So now if to how to run the test cases now. Okay. So there are 2 ways that you can run your test case. First of all, you can click on the file, write as, and you can click on TestNG test. Also, you can see this run is written on your test case. Directly, you can click on run also. Once you will click on run, that particular test case will start executing for you. So let's click on this run, and test case will start from your launching the browser. So first it will execute at the rate before method for you. You can see it is launching the Chrome browser, opening the website, and it has to maximize. So that kind of that logic we have written in at the rate before method. So this is done. Our test case is passed. It has closed the browser also very successfully. And you can see test case name was login and it has passed, right? So this is the one test case. But tomorrow you want to write down more test case also, right? Definitely one test you have to write down more test case. So just copy this and paste it. So I want to write down more test case, like after login, I want to check another functionality after login. Okay, suppose I want to edit the profile and I want to update the profile name. So that logic is code already I have with me. So this is the code to update the profile that actually I have written in my previous one of the example. So same we can use. So here we are explaining the concept of TestNG, not the Selenium. So that's why I'm just copying the code and not much explaining about the code. But we are talking about more on the TestNG concepts, right? So this is the second test case, right? So once we will do the login, okay. After that, what we have to do, we want to update our profile, and this is the code to update the profile name. Okay, so now we are having 2 test case, and test case name can't be same for 2 different test cases, right, in the same file. So for that you have to change the name. So we can give the name like update profile name. And also one more thing I want to tell you guys. So if you're writing the test cases, so the good practice which we implement in our company's project is like, if the method, if we are going to define the test case, so in that case always write down tc underscore. So like tc will define and it will come in your report also. So there is a purpose for defining tc. So tc means test case, and the name, this name is there, so this name will come exact in your report. So it at the rate test will not come in your report, guys. That at the rate test you will not be able to see the proper name or the proper method which is the test case, right? So at the rate test will not come in your report. So in the report will should also looks like code and the test case, this test case, this is the particular method which is the test case, right? So for that also you can just define TC, so that this is our test case name. Similar way you can write down here TC underscore, right? And also you can give like first, after that you can give first as a small like update, and after that you can give as a capital profile, capital and capital. So something proper naming convention you have to do while writing the test case, so that it will be proper visible in your report also, right? And it should be meaningful. So like TC if you define, so definitely now you can read this is a test case for the login. This is a test case for update profile name. So give a always proper name so that it should be readable. And once your manager is looking into the report, checking the test case, so he should be clear that what exactly the test case is for, right? So the name should be defined, the function exact, you know, purpose for it. Okay. So now we have given the name. You can see this is throwing an exception. We can add in our test case. So no. So if you think it is a test case, can we define the exception? Definitely, you can define the exception in the method. So this is an exception it will throw, and we will add some more weight after login also, so that because it will wait for some time to load the page, right? So these are the two test cases now. And both the test case require opening the browser and the URL, so that we have defined in at the rate before method. So now the pairing will be at the rate before method, login will execute, and after that, you know, at the rate after method will execute. In the similar way, at the rate before method will execute, and after that, at the rate profile update profile name will execute, then at the rate after method will execute. So pairing will be there, before method test after method, before method test after method. So the pairing will be like this. Okay. So there are two ways to run the test cases now. You can see in each and every test case, if you want to run the individual test case, so you have to click on run on that particular method on particular test case, so that test case will execute. Or if you want to execute both the test case, so in that case you have to right click on the file and run as a TestNG test. Okay. So individual I will show you first how you can run. So the login we have already seen. Suppose we want to run update profile name, so just click on a run. So automatically this test case will be launched, and you don't need require any main method for it, right? You can see guys, I have not written any main method, and our test case is working fine. So we are just updating the profile name. So guys, this is the website that you can see, right? So login is mandatory for it, and it is a good practice website, because the similar kind of real project also you will get in your company, right? So in similar way, you have to automate in your company also, guys. There is no change in that. So it has successfully updated it, and our test case is passed. So you can see the test case name is test case underscore profile name. So something similar like will be displaying in your report. So that's why I was saying give us some proper name. At the rate test will not come, right? So TC underscore update profile name. One test case is run and one has passed. So it is working fine, right? Now, so you got the things that you can define at the rate test on the method, and that method will become a test case for you. And these annotations I have already explained you about all the annotations, how it works and how many number of times it will execute. So if you have not seen, please watch my previous video also. Now I want to show you one more thing, that you, you can do the right click run as TestNG test. Okay. You can, if once you will do TestNG test, So now there are two test cases, right? Test at the rate, test at the test. So it will execute both the test cases, guys. It will not execute single test case. It will execute both the test case. You will see now. So basically it is saying like, no, this website is having some limited try. So that's why. So because we are randomly accessing this website now, so for security purpose, they have applied this, but test case will be executed two for you. This is some exception actually, which is coming from the application only. So you can see two test case has passed. One is login that is passed, and after login, we are not able to proceed because they are saying randomly are you accessing this website, because this is a real-time website, guys. So this is the test case. So two test case has been executed. Okay, two test case has been executed. So now the question is, there are tomorrow hundreds of test case, right? So you will be executing it, but in which sequence it will execute, right? Two test cases are there, so in which sequence these test cases are executing? So TestNG will pick randomly the test cases. Okay, so test cases will pick randomly, and it will pick based on the test case name. Okay, guys, it will pick based on the test case name. So if you want that this test case should be executed before and this should be executed later, so in that case you can do that. They in TestNG they are providing one variable, that is priority. You can set the priority. Okay, you can set the priority that I want this test case to be executed first, and this test case I want to be executed later. Something like this. So I will define it as a 1 and I will define it as a 2. Okay, now let's see and execute. So I will cover this priority topic very details, because there are multiple interview questions that will arise. What will happen if we will give the same priority to different test cases, right? So which one will be execute, which one is having the least priority, which one is going to execute the first? So there are multiple questions will be there in priority, but with the help of priority we can give the sequence to our test cases in which we want to execute it. So just for example I have showing you, but I will make a complete detailed video on it and it will cover multiple interview questions also. So just click on test run. Once we will click on test run, first it has to execute update profile name. Let it be fail. This is from the website only, but our purpose is to set the priority and execution, so that we will see. So you can see both the test cases are done. One is passed, one is fail, right? So this is executing test case 1. So let me check if priority we have given proper or not, because there are some annotations can be. Let me check here. So there's not defined any priority tag here. Just I want to check the syntax that if we are not giving anything wrong. So let me just Google it. No, this is the correct only that we have to set as a priority. Syntax looks like correct only that you can give the priority equal to 1. Okay, let's see once more. So guys, you can just give the priority on the test cases. So which sequence you want, which one you want to execute the first, and which one is having the least priority will be executing first. So one is the least priority, so it will execute the first priority one as the in the first. We will cover this in complete details, so just don't worry about it. So we will cover this in more details. So not sure, it is actually not showing proper. I want to show you it is not executing also, right? So because of the application error, but you can set the priority guys if you want to give a proper sequence that you want to execute it first or second, that you can execute it. Okay, one more thing that I want to show you that this @, test is there guys, right? You can remove it from here. Okay, and you can define at the class level also. Here also you can define at the rate uh, test. You can define at the class level also. So once you will define at the class level, so all the methods which are there right in the class will be working as a test case for you. Automatically it will set @class @test in all your methods. So directly you can run it as a TestNG test also. So that also you can do, and also you can define at the individual test case also. If you want to set anything, okay, if you want to set anything like any attribute, data driven parameter for that particular test case, so in that case you can inherit the values, or you can override the properties defined on the test case also. So that also you can do guys. Okay, and so I have covered most of the things that I wanted to discuss at the rate before method, run individual, at the rate class. So that's it guys. I think I have covered how you can create the test case in your TestNG. And if you have any doubt, please connect with me or put your queries in the comment section. And please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Share with your friends, right? So I will be coming with the new videos in TestNG, which will be covering your testing interview questions also, and which will be based on real project. So please watch my videos, and thanks to all. Thank you everyone. Bye.